Life is not about waiting for the perfect circumstances. I feel it is about creating the right mindset that transforms every situation into an opportunity. Every woman has within her the power to shape her destiny, but often self-doubt, societal pressure, or fear hold her back. The truth is, real change begins not in the world outside, but in the world inside. When you choose to rise, when you choose to act, the universe opens doors you never thought existed. Today, let's look at some timeless tips that can help women change their lives and step into their highest potential. Many women go through life underestimating their own value. They often look at themselves through the lens of society, culture, or other people's expectations. From childhood, many are told what they cannot do, how they must behave, and where their limits lie. Slowly, without realizing it, they start to internalize these voices, and instead of believing in their own uniqueness, they begin to compare themselves with others. But here is the truth. Your worth is not defined by what people think of you, nor by the roles that society assigns to you. Your worth is intrinsic. It is already within you, waiting to be embraced. Think about a diamond. When it is buried deep in the earth, covered in mud, it may not shine and no one may notice it. But does the lack of recognition reduce its value? No. The diamond is still a diamond, waiting to be polished and revealed. Similarly, every woman carries an inner brilliance. Sometimes life's difficulties, failures, or negative voices act like mud that covers the shine, but the value remains unchanged. The real change begins when you recognize your own worth, even if the world has not yet seen it. When you don't believe in yourself, you hand over the power of your life to others. You start living for approval, seeking appreciation, waiting for someone else to validate your efforts, and fearing rejection. This makes your confidence fragile because it depends on people who may change their opinions tomorrow. But when you start valuing yourself, you create an unshakable foundation. You no longer need applause. To feel strong, you walk with dignity because you already know who you are. History and everyday life give us countless examples of women who chose to believe in themselves when no one else did. Many pioneers in science, arts, and leadership were once told they were unfit, unqualified, or incapable. If they had listened to those voices, the world would have lost great contributions. What made the difference was not that society suddenly gave them permission, but that they decided to trust their own worth, their own calling, and their own potential. Believing in your worth doesn't mean arrogance or pride. It doesn't mean thinking you are better than others. It means having the quiet confidence that you matter, that your voice deserves to be heard, and that your dreams are valid. It means no longer shrinking yourself to fit in places where you don't belong. It means standing tall in your individuality and saying, I may not be perfect, but I am valuable. This shift in mindset changes everything. When you believe in your worth, you begin to set higher standards in your relationships. You no longer tolerate disrespect because you know you deserve respect. You start chasing bigger goals because you believe you are capable. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize that your journey is unique. And most importantly, you start inspiring others around you. Because when one woman walks confidently in her worth, she gives silent permission for others to do the same. So the real starting point of transformation is this: stop doubting. Stop waiting for others to tell you that you are enough. You already are. Life never comes without challenges. Every single person faces obstacles. But the difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck lies in their attitude towards challenges. Many see struggles as curses, something to run away from or complain about. But challenges are actually hidden gifts, wrapped in difficulty, designed to shape us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient individuals. If life gave us everything easily, we would never discover the depth of our own strength. The beauty of a challenge is that it pulls out of us what comfort can never teach. Think about how gold is purified. It goes through fire, extreme heat, and pressure before it becomes pure and valuable. In the same way, the fire of challenges is what purifies our character and reveals our hidden potential. When you face a problem, it is life's way of saying, there is something greater inside you. Let me bring it out. If we learn to look at struggles not as punishments, but as preparation, we begin to embrace them instead of fearing them. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move forward despite fear. Every woman, no matter her background, will face moments of doubt and difficulty, whether it is balancing responsibilities, overcoming failures, or fighting for her dreams in a world that sometimes underestimates her. In those moments, courage becomes the key. Courage whispers, yes, you are afraid, but keep walking. Yes, it is hard, but keep trying. Yes, you may fall, but rise again. History is filled with inspiring stories of people who faced enormous challenges yet rose above them. If you look closely, their greatness was not in avoiding struggles, but in embracing them. When we choose courage, challenges no longer break us, they build us. A broken road may seem painful to walk, but often it leads us to places we would never have reached otherwise. The truth is, challenges teach us more than success ever will. Success can be sweet, but it rarely makes us reflect deeply. Failure, hardship, and obstacles force us to pause, to think, to grow. They humble us and yet at the same time give us strength. Without challenges, we remain shallow. With them, we develop depth. And this depth is what makes life meaningful. Too often, when challenges arise, people ask, why me? But the more empowering question is, what is this teaching me? Every difficulty has a hidden lesson, maybe patience, maybe resilience, maybe trust, or maybe a new direction for life. Asking the right question shifts the focus from suffering to growth. Instead of seeing a wall, you start seeing a doorway. When you begin to see challenges as teachers, you stop resenting them. You embrace them with courage because you know that the pain you feel today will one day become your strength, your wisdom, and your story of inspiration. Courage transforms fear into fuel. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. And it reminds you that nothing great is achieved without struggle. So, whenever life throws a challenge at you, don't shrink, don't hide, and don't quit. Stand tall. Face it with courage and remind yourself, this is not here to destroy me. It is here to build me. A learning is not something that ends with school or college. It is a lifelong journey. Too often, people treat education as a phase, something that happens in childhood or youth. And once that phase ends, the hunger for knowledge slowly fades. But real growth comes when learning becomes a daily habit, a part of your lifestyle. Knowledge is not just about degrees or certificates. It is about constantly evolving as a person, discovering new perspectives, and expanding your capacity to deal with life. Imagine a river that keeps flowing. Its water remains fresh, full of life. But a pond that stays still with no movement soon becomes stagnant. The mind works the same way. When you keep learning, your mind stays alive, creative and active. But when you stop learning, you become stagnant, limited, and rigid in your thinking. That is why some people stop growing even at a young age. Not because life has stopped offering lessons, but because they have stopped being students of life. Daily learning doesn't always mean reading heavy books or sitting in a classroom. It can be as simple as reading a few pages from an inspiring book, listening to a podcast that expands your perspective, or reflecting on your own mistakes and experiences. Every single day gives us opportunities to learn, if only we remain open to them. When someone criticizes you, there is a lesson. When life delays something you want, there is a lesson. When you meet new people, there is always something to learn from their journey. The question is not whether lessons are available, but whether we are paying attention. Many times, we invest in external things, clothes, accessories, homes, or entertainment, but forget to invest in the one thing that truly shapes our destiny, our mind. A well-fed body gives you energy for the day, but a well-fed mind gives you wisdom for life. The world is constantly changing, and those who keep learning adapt easily, while those who stop learning get left behind. Think about technology, how fast it moves. 10 years ago, what was modern is now outdated. The same applies to our own growth. If we keep learning, we remain relevant and confident. If not, we struggle to catch up. Daily learning also builds humility. When you recognize that you don't know everything, you remain open to new ideas. It makes you flexible, adaptable, and more understanding of others. A person who believes they know it all stops growing. But someone who admits there is always more to learn continues to rise higher each day. This humility doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. Investing in learning also means investing in yourself. It could be improving your communication, developing emotional intelligence, understanding finances, or exploring spirituality. Every new skill you acquire adds another layer of strength to your life. Just like drops of water fill an ocean, small daily efforts at learning create a reservoir of wisdom that empowers you to face life's challenges with clarity. So, ask yourself, what did I learn today? If you don't have an answer, then the day may have been busy, but not necessarily fruitful. Life is too short to live without growth. When you invest in learning daily, you are not only preparing for opportunities, you are also preparing to inspire others with the knowledge you carry. In today's fast-moving world, many women are so caught up in responsibilities that they often forget to take care of themselves. They pour energy into their families, their work, their relationships, and their duties. But when it comes to their own well-being, they are often the last on their list. Over time, this neglect doesn't just exhaust the body, it drains the mind, the emotions, and even the spirit. That is why self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is not about being selfish. It is about making sure you are strong enough to give your best to life. Think of a candle. It gives light to others, but if it keeps burning without being protected, it will melt away quickly. The same is true for a woman who gives endlessly without ever pausing to restore herself. Self-care is the act of protecting your inner flame so it can continue to shine brightly for yourself and for others. Many people mistakenly think that self-care is only about going to a spa or taking a break once in a while. In reality, self-care is deeper. It is about creating daily habits that nurture your body, your mind, and your soul. It can be as simple as eating nourishing food, exercising regularly, practicing mindfulness, journaling your thoughts, or spending quiet moments with yourself. When you take care of your inner world, your outer world begins to transform. Self-care also means setting boundaries. Too often, women say yes to everything, yes to extra work, yes to responsibilities, yes to demands that drain their energy until they are left exhausted. But saying yes to everything means saying no to your own health and peace. Learning to say no when necessary is a powerful act of self-care. It doesn't mean you love others less. It means you respect yourself enough to protect your well-being. Another aspect of self-care is emotional healing. Carrying past hurts, unspoken pain, or unhealed wounds slowly weakens the spirit. Taking time to process emotions, forgive where needed, and release negativity is just as important as eating healthy or exercising. A strong heart is just as vital as a strong body. Spiritual self-care is equally important. Whether through prayer, meditation, reflection, or connecting with nature, nurturing the soul gives strength beyond what the world can offer. It provides peace in chaos and clarity in confusion. When the soul feels cared for, every challenge in life feels lighter. Remember, self-care is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice. Just like we don't eat once and expect to stay nourished forever, we cannot care for ourselves once and expect to stay strong always. Daily, consistent self-care is what builds resilience, energy, and joy, When a woman prioritizes self-care, she becomes more present, more loving, and more productive. Her relationships flourish because she is not giving from emptiness, but from fullness. Her work improves because she has clarity and focus. And most importantly, she begins to live with a sense of balance, where life doesn't feel like a burden, but a gift. So, taking care of yourself is not about neglecting others. It is about ensuring that you have the strength, love, and energy to continue giving meaningfully. A flower cannot bloom if it is not watered. In the same way, you cannot flourish if you don't nurture yourself. The people you surround yourself with have more influence on your life than you may realize. Human beings are deeply affected by the energy, words, and attitudes of those around them. Just like a plant needs the right soil, water, and sunlight to grow, a person needs the right environment to flourish. If you surround yourself with negativity, constant criticism, and discouragement, it slowly poisons your spirit and weakens your confidence. But when you surround yourself with positive, supportive, and uplifting people, you begin to rise higher, almost effortlessly. It is often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that carefully. Your mindset, habits, dreams, and even your outlook on life are shaped by those closest to you. If your circle is filled with people who constantly complain, gossip, or discourage, then that energy will pull you down too. But if your circle is filled with dreamers, encouragers, and believers, you will find yourself naturally motivated to grow, achieve, and become your best self. Positive people don't mean perfect people. They are not those who never face problems, but those who carry hope even in difficulties. They remind you that challenges are temporary, that setbacks are stepping stones, and that failure is not the end, but a lesson. When you are around such people, their mindset rubs off on you. Their courage inspires courage in you. Their joy sparks joy in you, and their faith strengthens your own. At the same time, it is important to recognize the draining effect of toxic relationships. Some people may always criticize, belittle, or discourage you. Their words may sound casual, but over time they plant seeds of self-doubt in your mind. If you constantly feel small, unworthy, or unmotivated after spending time with certain people, it is a sign that their energy is harming your growth. Protecting yourself from such negativity is an act of self-respect. It doesn't mean hating or rejecting others. It simply means choosing wisely who gets access to your inner world. Surrounding yourself with positive people also means seeking mentors, guides, and role models who have walked the path before you. Their wisdom can save you years of struggle. Learning from their experiences can give you clarity and courage. A single encouraging word from the right person at the right time can change the direction of your life. That is the power of positive influence. Friendship and community are not just about company, they are about growth. The right people will celebrate your victories, but more importantly, They will stand by you in your struggles. They will remind you of your worth when you forget it. They will push you to keep going when you feel like giving up. And they will rejoice in your success without envy or comparison. Such relationships are treasures, and nurturing them is one of the wisest investments you can make. So, be intentional about your circle. Seek people who inspire, who encourage, who challenge you to become better. And just as importantly, strive to be that positive influence for others. When you give encouragement, you attract encouragement. When you uplift others, you create an atmosphere where positivity becomes natural. The company you keep can either limit your destiny or help you unlock it. Choose wisely, for the people around you are either the anchors that hold you back or the wings that help you fly. One of the heaviest burdens people carry is the weight of their past. Old mistakes, broken relationships, failures, betrayals, or regrets often sit quietly in the corners of the heart, influencing how we see ourselves and how we live each day. Many women hold on to painful memories because they feel defined by them, as if those moments have the final say over their destiny. But the truth is, the past is not a life sentence. It is a teacher, and once the lesson is learned, it is meant to be released. Think of a person trying to climb a mountain while carrying a bag filled with heavy stones. With every step, the weight slows them down. The higher they try to go, the harder it becomes. Now imagine if they decided to set the stones down. Suddenly, the journey feels lighter, easier, and freer. Holding on to the past is like carrying unnecessary stones. It only slows your progress. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means choosing not to let it control your present or your future. The past is already gone. It cannot be changed. But what can change is the meaning we give to it. Some see their past failures as proof that they are not capable, while others see the same failures as lessons that make them stronger. The difference is not in the event, but in the perspective. When you hold on to bitterness, you remain stuck in the pain. When you choose to forgive, to release, to accept, you create space for healing and growth. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to let go of the past. Forgiving doesn't mean approving what happened, nor does it mean forgetting. It means refusing to let anger or resentment control your life any longer. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. Many women live with guilt over past choices, constantly replaying what they should have done differently. But guilt does not change yesterday, it only poisons today. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It is the courage to accept your humanity and to give yourself permission to begin again. Letting go also means not letting old labels define you. Perhaps people once called you incapable, unworthy, or too weak. Perhaps you failed in something important. But those moments are chapters, not the whole story. Every sunrise is a reminder that life gives you another chance to write new pages. If you keep rereading yesterday's painful chapters, you will never discover the beauty of today's opportunities. Releasing the past doesn't mean ignoring its lessons. In fact, it means learning from them fully and then moving forward. Just like a seed must break through its shell to grow, we must break free from our past to step into our potential. The cracks and scars of yesterday can become the foundation of your wisdom today. When you finally let go of the past, you experience freedom. You stop living in yesterday's shadows and begin to walk in today's light. Your mind becomes clearer, your heart lighter, and your spirit stronger. And in that freedom, you realize something powerful. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. You are free to write a new story, one choice at a time. Financial independence is one of the most powerful forms of freedom a woman can give herself. It is not just about earning money, it is about having choices, security, and dignity. Too often, women have been told that financial matters are not their responsibility, that they must depend on someone else to provide for them. While support from family or a partner can be a blessing, complete dependence often limits growth and creates silent fear. True empowerment begins when you know that no matter what happens, you can stand on your own feet. Money by itself does not buy happiness, but lack of financial independence can certainly bring helplessness. Imagine a woman with dreams and potential, but who has to ask permission for every little expense, or who feels trapped in an unhealthy situation because she cannot support herself. Her wings are clipped not because she lacks talent, but because she lacks independence. Now imagine the same woman earning, saving, and managing her finances wisely. Suddenly, she is not only able to take care of her needs, but also able to contribute to her family, support causes she believes in, and make decisions with confidence. That is the strength of financial independence. It gives you a voice, a choice, and a sense of control over your life. Being financially independent doesn't always mean becoming rich or chasing millions. It simply means creating a stable foundation where you can meet your needs without fear. It means learning how to earn, how to save, how to spend wisely, and how to plan for the future. Even small, consistent steps, like setting aside a portion of your income every month, build a safety net that gives peace of mind. Financial independence also builds self-respect. When you know you are contributing when you know you can provide for yourself, you walk with a different kind of confidence. You no longer feel like a burden, nor do you feel forced to stay in situations that steal your dignity. You can make decisions from a place of strength, not desperation. Equally important is financial literacy, the knowledge of how money works. Many people learn but do not know how to manage, and as a result, they end up with stress instead of freedom. Learning about budgeting, saving, investing, and planning may seem complicated at first, but it is one of the most empowering skills a woman can gain. The more you understand money, the more you control it, instead of it controlling you. Financial independence also sets an example for the next generation. When children, especially daughters, see their mother handling her finances wisely. It plants seeds of strength and responsibility in them. It tells them that being independent is not just an option, but a necessity. This ripple effect transforms not only one life, but entire families and communities. The truth is, life is unpredictable. Relationships, jobs, or circumstances may change. But financial independence gives you stability in uncertainty. It is like having an anchor in a storm. You may still face challenges, but you are not completely adrift. So, financial independence is more than money. It is about freedom, dignity, and strength. It is about creating a life where you are not limited by fear of survival, but inspired by the possibilities of growth. And when a woman achieves this, she doesn't just change her own life. She inspires countless others to do the same. Ambition is a powerful force. It drives us to achieve, to dream big, and to rise beyond limitations. Every woman has within her the potential to build a career, pursue passions, and leave an impact on the world. But along with ambition comes another essential aspect of life: relationships. Success feels hollow if it is achieved at the cost of love, family, and meaningful connections. The true art of living is not choosing one over the other, but learning to balance both ambition and relationships so that life feels whole. There are many who chase success tirelessly, climbing higher and higher, only to look around one day and find themselves alone. On the other hand, there are those who dedicate themselves completely to relationships but silence their dreams in the process, often leading to regret later in life. Both extremes create imbalance. What brings fulfillment is harmony, the ability to nurture relationships while also nurturing your ambitions. Think of life as a tree. The trunk represents you, your strength and individuality. One branch stretches towards your ambitions, your career, your goals, your personal growth. The other branch stretches towards your relationships, your family, your friends, your loved ones. For the tree to be complete, both branches must grow. If one is cut off, the tree feels incomplete. Balancing ambition with relationships requires mindfulness and priorities. It means recognizing that success is sweeter when you have people to share it with, and love is deeper when you continue to grow as an individual. One doesn't cancel out the other. In fact, they can support each other beautifully. A supportive family gives strength to pursue ambitions, and personal growth brings fresh energy into relationships. Practical balance often comes down to time and attention. It's easy to get lost in endless work, thinking that loved ones will understand. But relationships need presence, not just promises. A few intentional moments of genuine attention often mean more than hours of distracted presence. On the other hand, ambition requires discipline and focus. So creating boundaries where you give work your best energy without letting it steal away your personal life is crucial. Another key to balance is communication. When you openly share your dreams with your loved ones, they feel included in your journey rather than neglected by it. Similarly, When you listen to their needs and make them feel valued, they become your biggest supporters. Balance is not about dividing your life into two separate parts, but weaving them together with honesty and care. It is also important to redefine success. If success only means wealth, fame, or titles, then relationships often suffer. But if success means a meaningful life where achievements and relationships grow together, then every step feels more fulfilling. A woman who builds her career while also nurturing her family leaves behind not just a legacy of accomplishments, but also a legacy of love. At the end of the day, ambition gives purpose, but relationships give meaning. One without the other feels incomplete. The balance is not always perfect, and some days one side may demand more attention than the other. But the goal is not perfection, it is awareness. When you remain conscious of both, you can adjust and realign as needed. A truly successful woman is not the one who sacrifices relationships for ambition, nor the one who sacrifices ambition for relationships, but the one who learns to carry both with grace. And in that balance, she finds wholeness, joy, and a life worth celebrating.